All right, it's great to come around to talk African football once again on Nigeria's Fans Forum. My name is Ashalolu Afemi. I hope you had for yourselves a awesome weekend wherever you are joining us from around the world. So much to talk about on the continent today. James Agberebi is here, so it's going to be a wonderful time on the show today. In Nigeria, we'll be starting from, of course, the golden neglect. There's still this huge disappointment on the faces of Nigerians, particularly because of the confidence the people had in this team going into the under-17 AFCON in Algeria. But unfortunately, they couldn't pick a very, very important World Cup ticket. So some ex-internationals are still saying that the NFF should stick with Nduka Ogbade, the coach of the team, saying that he seems to have what it takes to discover young talent from the grassroots. We'll be talking about. And of course, in Nigeria, there is an unconfirmed report that the Nigeria Football Federation would be appointing Salisu Yusuf on a temporary basis when the contract of current coach Jose Peseiro expires in June next year. In Ghana, so much to talk about. Thomas Partey is in the news once again, and we'll be talking about a whole lot of other things. The MTN FA Cup in Ghana now in the final. We'll be telling you King Faisal, of course, they are in the final, and Dreams FC, they'll be playing the final. And of course, the CAF Champions League, CAF Confederations Cup, so much to talk about. And we'll be talking about some leagues across Europe. Some of the leagues are home stretch right now. So much to talk about on the show today. James Agberebi, you're welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you very much, Remy. It's always a pleasure being on the show. Unfortunately, I couldn't be in the last edition, but I'm fully back now.
And I hope you're doing much better after what Brighton did to Arsenal yesterday. But we'll be getting to that regarding Thomas Partey. But let's get started with the golden neglect, James. A lot of Nigerians are saying that the NFF should relieve Nduka Ogbade of his job, while ex-internationals are saying that, particularly Kadri Kana, the former Yimba coach, is saying that the NFF should stick with Nduka Ogbade because it seems he has what it takes to deliver talent from anywhere across the country. James, what do you think? Disappointment is huge. Some people are even saying that if Nigerians had reached the semi-finals and picked a World Cup ticket, even if we got to the World Cup and we didn't do anything meaningful, they would have still tell the NFF or fight for Nduka Ogbade to be retained on the job. But with what it is right now, what do you think the NFF should do right now? Though the NFF has come out to say that they have not disengaged Nduka Ogbade, but what do you think the NFF should do right now?
Well, for me, I think let's look elsewhere. Let's try other people. Ogbade has been with this team at the days of Manu Gaba. He was a former winner of the competition, so it means he knows this competition very well. But I think we've seen what he can do. He has taken the team as far as he can. But I think I want to believe there are other coaches in Nigeria who I believe they give it the opportunity. They able to. We should stop this idea of always depending solely on
recycling same
yes,
faces.
exactly, because I mean, we are not giving the other coaches a chance. Fine, we know his record when it comes to this competition, but I mean, for this competition, this under 17 AFCON in Algeria, for me, it's a big disappointment because the expectation was very high. And he's also in some of his interviews, what he normally say that he gave us this belief that we have the next.
Yeah,
it was so high. At the end of the day, when you watch the team throughout the competition, you just have this like, is it the same players that this coach have been happy about? The way he was just going about. Then at some point, he called them the baddest team in the competition. But unfortunately, we didn't see any of that. There was nothing bad about the team. Right from the first game down to, I mean, they keep doing the same thing every game. The game against Zambia, they won, but they struggled. Against Morocco, then they were lucky to even beat South Africa. Then against Burkina Faso, I mean, everything just came to the open. So it was a team that then I don't think if you check teams like Morocco, teams like Burkina Faso, Mali, Senegal, who for me are the favorites already. I mean, you see that these are well coached teams, but in case of the golden neglect, I mean, That's it was all talk and nothing to show. The team keep doing the same thing in every game. So for me, he has done well. We cannot take that away from him, but I think we should try other people. We should just always rely on the same person all the time. For me, he has done well. I think we should give other coaches. We
Okay.
have other young coaches too, who I believe, if given the opportunity, they will do well. So for me, Ogbade has done well, but I think let's look elsewhere.
Okay, so James, let's look beyond the Golden Eaglets now. I know in the coming days, the NFF will eventually take a decision regarding that. Let's look at the four countries who played in the semi-finals and will be representing Africa at the World Cup. Senegal, Morocco, Mali, and Burkina Faso. James, particularly Senegal and Morocco, who will be playing finals after beating their opponents on penalties. Very, very, very scrappy though, but at least they're there. These two
Yeah.
countries, James, we've talked about them over and over on this show. They've shown deliberate efforts to develop young talent in their country. And not only that, they've put infrastructure in place. And this young talent, they've seen the enabling environment. And of course, they've utilized that very well. James, I think these two countries, they didn't get it by freak, not by accident. It was a deliberate plan, and of course, they're here. What other lessons? What lessons do you think Nigeria, Ghana? Because if you remember, Japan 1993, Nigeria and Ghana played the final of the Under-17 World Cup in Japan. Now, what lessons do you think Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon, the West African superpower house when it comes to young talent in football can learn from these two countries?
So I mean, it just goes to show that just like what you said, success doesn't come by accident. These are deliberate plans that have been put in place, and that's why we are seeing the results. I mean, look at Morocco at the last World Cup. It's just like they came out of the blues. That's what a lot of people expect. But I mean, even in the calculation before the World Cup, they didn't really tip them as one of the teams to go far. Remember, I even said North Africa, they hardly do well when it comes to the World Cup. So we're looking at the likes of Cameroon, Senegal to go far. Unfortunately, I say unfortunately, but Morocco became the first African team to reach the semi-final. Now Senegal, I mean, they are AFCON champions, CHAN champions, under 20 champions, and the way things are going now, I won't be
beach soccer
surprised.
champions,
Beach soccer champions, and the way things are going now, they might win the under 17 AFCON. Which
under
for me,
17 again.
if they do it, I mean, it won't come as a surprise. It goes to show that you have to be deliberate about these things. It doesn't come by accident. When you put in the right, the proper personnel, the right people in place. I mean, all these things will show. It will come out. That's football for you. The Spain team that won the 2010 World Cup, that team, they started building that team from 1999 on that 20 World Cup, right? The one that Nigeria hosted. The likes of Xavi, Casillas, they were in that team. Look look at how long it took them before they now. So all these things that are planning, it's not. It just doesn't come overnight. Something doesn't just come overnight. But if we've seen teams who win tournaments who are not favorite, well, check out those teams. At the end of the day, you see that their lifespan they don't last because it just came. It was one of the surprises. Despite losing that won the 2010 AFCON, nobody gave them a chance to win the AFCON. But after that, what happened? That team didn't really blossom the way we expected them because nobody gave them a chance. It just happened. The team that even won the 1994 AFCON for Nigeria, I know they went to the World Cup. They did very well. Then some of the players who went to that AFCON and the World Cup, they won the Atlanta Olympic gold. Then I think that team now got to the final in 2000 and in 2000 AFCON. Then I think everything now. I think we now saw the end of that team at the AFCON 2002. So you saw how long. So these things about long planning. It's not by accident. You have to be ready to go through all these stages, disappointment and what have you. But when a competition like this, you want to go there and win it. I mean, you are setting yourself up. That's why I said when the competition started, I wasn't even interested in the Golden Eagle winning the tournament. I just wanted to qualify for the semi-final. Now winning the tournament will be just a bonus because when you qualify for the World Cup, it gives you that platform to see these players. That's how we got to see the likes of Kanu, Uruma, Victor Osimhen, Kelechi Iheanacho, all these guys. That World Cup gives you that opportunity. Celestine Babayaro, all these guys. So that's why I was so pained when they didn't qualify for the semi-final because I wanted them to go. I wasn't interested in them winning the tournament. Nigeria have won the tournament twice. Won the Under-17 World Cup 5 times. It's a record. But that doesn't. I'm not particular about that. All I want to see these guys give them the opportunity because this is like a chain, where you get players who graduate.
That would be quite sad, but unfortunately, that is what it eventually result to. So the final now, of course, in the third place, we would have Burkina Faso. They'll be taking on Mali on Thursday. Then we have the final between Senegal and Morocco on Friday. James, before as we were prepping for this recording, of course, our producer just it got cracked up because the report, unconfirmed report though, but at least it's something that is coming from someone from the glass house here in Nigeria, where they said, of course, we all knew that Peseiro's contract would be expiring next June, and they said that the plan A the NFF has right now is to replace him on a temporary basis with Salisu Yusuf. James, how how would you even receive this in the first place, James? Whether it is true or not, how would you even receive this, James?
I will receive it with sadness. I will receive it with heartbreak and with I'm telling you, Femi. I
Come on,
mean,
James.
are we planning to
James.
move forward with our football, or we want to remain stagnant? I'm
Uh,
telling you, it sounds funny, but it's not. I mean, we want the best for our Super Eagles.
but the
If
NFF
Salisu,
has been saying that they are cash strapped. They've been. You remember they've been rationing even the assistants who have been working with Jose Peseiro.
I mean, it just goes to show that when you have square pegs in round holes, we've been hearing this cash trap issue for a very long time. I mean, it just goes to show that our football is not moving forward. The Super Eagles is the biggest brand among all our national teams, and they deserve the best. But from what we are getting, I mean, it goes to show that we are not ready to move forward. Salisu of all coaches. I mean, I don't know how it's going to sound. As in, what kind of tactic we've seen this man, and this was somebody who failed to qualify Nigeria for the CHAN, failed to qualify Nigeria for the under 23 AFCON. And just like what I hope this is just a kind of a rumor, and it's not going to come to reality. Because to me, I'm not a big fan of Salisu.
Not
It's
many
not as if
of
I'm
us.
trying
Not many of
my
us
cup
are.
list.
Not many of us are.
Honestly, I'm so particular about his what is his our knowledge about the football. I mean, we want to go and play top tonight. Is it what kind of tactics Charles is going to present. So for me, I just want to believe that it's kind of a rumor because if you are looking at ways to move our football forward, I don't think that Salus is that man that's going to take us forward. Even not as a backup
Okay.
or interim coach. That's it for me.
Okay. So let's quickly look at leagues across Africa. Of course, a lot of leagues are almost at the home stretch right now. In Nigeria, just a couple of games to go. For some, just a game before they finish their group matches. Remember, in Nigeria here, we're running an average league season because of the time lost to a couple of issues that the league faced at the beginning of the campaign. So, of course, in Nigeria, still Bended Insurance favorite. I think they picked one of the three slots in Group A and in Group B. Rivers United, they have a backlog of fixtures because of their continental engagement. You remember in the CAF Confederations Cup. So in Ghana, of course, just still 4 matches to go. Edona Stars still holding tight at the top of the table. And we are hoping, particularly, I am hoping that Edona will not do an Arsenal. I want them to win the league at least to challenge a disruptive kind of development this season, Ashanti Kotoko and Art of Folk. They are even both of them are even they are out of running, except something huge, something more than a miracle happen. In South Africa, my Melody Sundowns, they are doing well in the CAF Champions League. And of course, they are already titled winner. They're playing Matrisburg today. So I think they are already champions. And of course, in Tanzania, young Africans doing well in the CAF Confederations Cup. They are almost wrap up the title in that country. After 28 matches, they have 74 points. They are followed by Simba, who also campaign on the continent. They have 67 points after 28 matches, while young Africans have 74 points. Okay, James, let's talk about Thomas Partey. Yesterday, after Arsenal lost 3-0 to Brighton at home, Partey started trending, and that got me curious. And of course, when I followed up on some of the comments made by some Arsenal fans who were Ghanaians, but Nigerians, even those in the UK, they are saying that Thomas Partey should be sold in the summer. They started saying that they started pointing to the errors he made in the game against West Ham and some of his unimpressive performances. And I began to wonder, why is it that everybody, almost all of them, singled out Partey? It's almost like they were blaming him for where Arsenal is today. But for me, I do not think that is justifiable. What do you think, James? Being an Arsenal fan, of course, you've been following the club for this season.
For me, that would be unfortunate, blaming Partey for Arsenal's collapse in the title race, because you remember when he got injured in the course of the season, it was as if the Arsenal fans already given up when they saw that Partey might not get back to full fitness, and that was
Yeah,
how they
because
wanted
it
to get
was
this
so
guy.
crucial. Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was so crucial. So I don't know, they've forgotten all of a sudden, how they wanted to panic buy certain midfielders. Yeah, the guy in Brighton, Peseiro, there was a time
Yeah.
Brighton just didn't want to sell, and that was why they had
You
to
also
go
tried to
for.
sign Douglas Luiz from Aston Villa.
They were just shopping left, right, center, because they know how crucial Partey is in the team. So I think what really happened to Partey was fatigue. I know before we came on here, we discussed at length what some of the reasons why Arsenal collapsed in the title race. I think it was fatigue
Okay,
and the poor
not that he
management
was
from.
going through anything. Not that he was going through anything,
No,
according to
no, no,
what
no. I think Ateta didn't really.
this former
Ateta
Arsenal
didn't.
captain
Yeah,
insinuated.
Ateta didn't manage the squad well, because Partey has been part of the reason why Arsenal has come this far. So I think at some stage he got injured, fatigue setting, and you expect the coach. I mean, you have Jorginho who always want to show that, okay, yeah, I can step in and do something, but he kept playing the same set of players, and once fatigue sets in, no matter how fit you think you are, once fatigue sets in, all this will just go out the window. It happened to Saka too.
Okay.
It happened to Gabriel Martinelli. Even look at the game against West Ham. Fine, Partey made a mistake that led to the penalty. Saka had the chance to
The
extend
chance
the lead,
to
and he
make it
missed it.
3-1. Yeah.
Against Southampton, the goalkeeper gave away the ball, so it was that Partey's fault too. So for me, it's just like I said, it was a poor management from Ateta. He didn't manage the squad well. In the home stretch, you expect the experienced coach to try and rejiggle your squad. Partey was, for me, he was tired. He was mentally drained, and you also what he did because of the season. So at this
I
point,
completely
the
agree.
coach just the coach just didn't come up with the right formation, right setup. Because we have players there who are ready to step in, give these guys. That's what City are doing. The game against Everton, this guy didn't play. De Bruyne didn't play. Grealish had to come. I think he came from the bench, and you just have to rejiggle the squad. So for me, it's unfortunate if fans are now pointing at Partey, because typical human beings, when things don't go well, they always look for a scapegoat, and they feel Partey is the right scapegoat,
Okay.
right scapegoat for them to vent their anger on.
Okay. So I think our Arsenal fans, particularly those following us, would agree with James, because yesterday it was so huge. I just hope that Thomas Partey wouldn't read some of those comments, because I do not think they were fair on him, because I think that young man has done the best that he could do for Arsenal. If he had had a cover, like James said, in the person of Jorginho, and that brings us to the next story, because Partey has reacted to Jorginho now starting games ahead of him. And he said, I quote, he said, "For me, it is something that always happened. I have always had competition, which is good for me. I enjoy it. I'm really happy for him, Jorginho, because for a couple of weeks, it was the best training. And then at the end, you see that in the game. I'm really happy for him. I'm also happy that every player is ready to step in, so nobody is able to slip. I think it is good, and I hope everyone in that position will be ready to step in when the chance comes." James, but really, do you think this is good for, not for the team now, for Thomas Partey, because it's crucial for the Black Stars? And over time, we know the season is almost ending now, but over time, really, we have to be candid. His form has dipped seriously. Do you think it is because he's not been getting sufficient playing time now over the couple of weeks, or because of the mental fatigue that you talked about?
Like I said, it's the mental fatigue. Like I said, one of the reasons why Arsenal got this far was because of the contribution of Partey. Remember, he's got some world class goals because of this season. So for him to now, he's human. I mean, there will always be a time when he's going to break down, and it's so unfortunate that this happened when the team when they are looking at the trophy and one of their key players, is from deep. So for me, I think it kind of affected the whole team because we didn't stop seeing that. See the Arsenal season, and when they got to the season and all was falling apart. This party, it's just what happened. Like I said, I'm saying it. The coach just didn't manage the squad well. Sometimes we rested some players, we kept using them and like just run them aground, and so that's just it. From the party, is always going to be a world class player. And we've seen him at Atletico, what he did there. So for me, it's so unfortunate the way things turned out, and it's so wrong to start pointing accusing fingers for him. I hope it turns out well for the Black Stars. I think before the qualifier, he would have rested enough, but they need him as they get to the home stretch of the 2025 qualifiers.
Okay, James, I don't know whether you saw the game between Wydad hosting Sundowns. Of course, a Ghanaian referee, Daniel Laria, was in charge of that game, and the two Sundown players were shown red card. Those red cards, those decisions were right. They were right decisions for very, very dangerous rough tackle. And we know what FIFA said about tackles endangering the life of an opponent. But South Africans have continued to slam this same referee. He's been a FIFA badge referee since 2014 and is officiated in a number of CAF competitions. But South Africans, they're obviously not happy that Larry has sent off two Sundown players, James. But eventually that game ended 0-0. James, very quickly, before we go to talk about the result.
Well, for me, I don't know what they want. I mean, I saw one of the tackles.
Did you see the game?
I didn't see it, but I saw highlights of it, and I saw that one of the rough tackle. I mean, you don't go hard on players like that. I mean, this is a fellow footballer like you might end up ending his career. So I mean, if the referee feels that such tackle deserve a red card, it means they deserve to be off. Or they are so fortunate that despite playing two players down, they are still able to hold on to their own and get this 0-0 draw. So for me, they should just relax and I mean, if it's the other way around, I mean, would they be saying this? I mean, you should also consider the other players too. So for me, FIFA they've always frowned about when it comes to dangerous tackles because nobody wants to end his career just like that. We've seen players, so we've seen how players how their career have ended because of dangerous tackles. So for me, since it was deserved, well, they should just have to live with it and hope they're able to bounce back in the reverse fixture.
I think that referee was excellent. James, in the first leg of the semi-final of the CAF Champions League, I think natural justice opened to Esperance. Remember, 2 weeks ago, we talked about how their fans were hostile to fans of JS Kabile, and they eventually managed to win that tie. But in the semi-final, first leg at home, they lost 3-0 to Al Ahly. Peseiro scoring a brace in that game. I think natural justice just took place in that game. Then, of course, in the Wydad versus Sunderland ended in. So, of course, the return legs of those fixtures will take place this Friday and Saturday. And in the CAF Confederations Cup, young Africans, James, these young Africans, they are amazing. They defeated Gallant, another South African team, 2-0 in the first leg, and ASEC and USM Alger ended their own first leg semi-final. So the second leg ties will be taking place on Wednesday this week. James, looking at these fixtures in the Champions League and the Confederations Cup, which teams do you think would pull through? Remember, Sundowns, I think for me, they are home and dry.
Well, you might want to say that but remember, in the first leg ended 0-0. They didn't concede. So for me, that's a good result for Sundown, but at the same time for their opponents, because for me it's still open. Just for them to go away and nick a goal, and you know what the North Africans do when they come to your ground and nick a goal. You know how they can defend it to the last. So to me, I think that tie is still well balanced.
Esperance Al Ahly.
Esperance. I think it's done and dusted for Al Ahly. I mean, they are very experienced side. So when it comes to competition like this, and they've taken this kind of advantage, I mean, it's always going to take a kind of disaster on their part to let go this kind of lead. So for me, it's Al Ahly.
Okay, so James Agberebi, thank you for coming through on the show today. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Femi. Always a pleasure.
All right. So to our fans around the world, we do not take your support lightly at all. Thank you for always sticking with Nigeria Super Fans Forum. Unfortunately, this is where we will be drawing the curtain on today's program. We wish to go on and on and give you more, well, of course, because of our time. We wanted to get into the conversation, particularly on issues that we've raised, particularly for our Ghanaian fans. Do you think Thomas Partey is to blame for how Arsenal has capitulated in the title race this season? Because if you could go through the Twitter and see a lot of harsh comments about him, but I do not think he's responsible. But what is your opinion? Please let us know in the comment section. And of course, on issues that we have raised also, you can get into the conversation. We'll see you later in the week. I remain Ashalelu Afemi. Bye for now.